Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our session of Dragonlance. In this session, we will rejoin our agents after they successfully finished 2 weeks of duty under the banner of Calumet. The first week saw the party traveling along the eastern roads to respond to bandit-like activity believed to be the Red Dragon Army aggression. After reclaiming the farmstead turned training ground, our group returned to Calumet. But not long after their return, an urgent request from Marshal Ventry sent the party across the Vingard River in search of spies which were feared to be in danger of discovery. Along the road, they were able to reunite with a battle-scarred Cudgel who was marching the remainder of her forces to Calumet. She warned of the dangers ahead, claiming the lands north of the Vingard to be completely in the enemy's clutches. This turned out to be true, with our party arriving just in time to save Sparrow, one of the surviving scouts, from a group of Draconians. She imparted alarming information to the group for fear of the information dying with her on the road to Calumet. The Red Dragon Army is raiding the territories west and south of Nightland, cutting Calumet off from the nearby friendly territories. Thankfully, Sparrow would survive to make this report herself, and our party was handsomely rewarded with several months' worth of salary. It is as our party begins to enjoy some downtime that we rejoin our agents in the middle of said activities. And with that, welcome back, everybody. It is a pleasure to have you again. And on that note, I would love to hear what everybody wants to do during their downtime here before we are summoned once again to help with Calumet's distress. Would we like to roll initiative to see who goes first?
Sounds good to me.
Sure. I had forgotten that we were doing downtime when we came back.
Oh, to be fair, we hadn't really discussed it, but we had just arrived back at Calumet after helping Sparrow return.
Didn't we just do downtime activities too?
We had started our previous session wrapping up downtime, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's when I got all that gold, right? From the pit fighting.
Did we have... Oh, man. I'm sorry. Did we have downtime in our last session at the end of the session?
No, we had downtime beginning, I thought.
Okay,
because I made a whole bunch of gold.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah, my notes end on us receiving the commendation from the governor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay. That threw me for a second. I was like, I don't remember that. Cool. So, that just leaves Thrag. Though I don't think you're going to be finishing, beating that 20.
No, I don't think so. Let me just. Well, you don't know. You don't know, Thrag.
Did we make money at the end of the last session?
Oh. You didn't beat it. You tied it.
He can go first.
Oh no.
On the subject of making money, you did make the 5 gold from getting your payment for your employment at the beginning of the week, and then you should have also received the 100 for successfully extracting the spy.
I forgot to add that. That's what I was like. I have 0 gold. That doesn't seem right.
That does not seem right.
I have a frighteningly large amount of gold.
I think you had also paid back Thrag was part of that.
You did.
Yeah.
You did pay back Thrag.
With part of that 100.
Yep. Oh yeah, I think I'm good then. I remember my totals.
I have 372 gold.
Yes, Thrag. Always attentive with adding gold, never with subtracting it.
Hey, Thrag has not spent any money.
That's because I have spent all of your money since the beginning of this session.
You've been double taxing me.
No, I've been waiting for you to take the money and then taking it when you forget about it. All right. So we still have that tie between Eldquin and Thrag. Give me those.
Oh, you want me to roll again?
You both tied for 20, unless one of you wants to let the other person go first.
I was saying he can go first because I'm still trying to read the buying a magic item to make sure I know how this works to help.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's, I can explain it to you, but you can read it. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
So Thrag, what would you like to do with your downtime?
You know what I would like to do? I might try the pit fighting again.
That sounds perfectly good.
I guess I guess I would talk to my dear fellow knight in training. If I could look at my notes.
Darrett?
Yeah, Darrett. And maybe inquire. The first thing I would do is maybe go to Darrett and like ask around and if any more Knights of Selenia have arrived in the city.
Yeah, talking to him about Knights of Solemnia activity, you would learn pretty much what you would have suspected. The Knights of Solemnia pretty much stick to their headquarters because generally the public don't enjoy their presence. Seen as a cursed order, they are not entirely welcome in most places where they aren't a major military presence. So, traveling Knights of Solemnia, not very likely. And as such, there aren't really any note of Solemnic activity in Calaman.
Thrag does give him a disheartened look that Thrag now truly believes he's cursed.
Further, the activities of the Red Dragon army have made travel extremely dangerous, so not only do people avoid using the roads unless they absolutely have to, a lot of trade from the south and west has completely dried up. Caravans just aren't making it to the city anymore. And to the east, they don't even trade with anyone that way, so Calaman is essentially surviving entirely off of its naval trade at the moment.
I see. This is not good. Surely the knights should at least. There's no way. Perhaps at some point the knights will be forced to intervene.
Darrett would shrug and say he would hope that they would, but there's no guarantee of that, especially not with no official request for aid from Calaman.
Well, technically, we are representing Knights of Selenia. We must be on our best behavior.
Darrett would raise an eyebrow and say, "Have you not been?"
Well, there has been the pit fighting, but I have been very honorable in it.
I won't speak of it if you don't.
Someone tried to bribe me. I refused.
That's good. Though some within our order would debate that applying your skills for coin is a measure of dishonor.
But I have done good with it. I have helped Laffy. She was horribly in debt for a time. That is okay. That is all under the bridge now.
Horribly in debt? I borrowed from you.
Horribly in debt. Indebted to me.
This is the beginning of his villain arc.
just becomes a kingpin, like aloof to the fact that he is a kingpin.
Look at these poor indebted souls. Like, all of them owe you money.
It's not on purpose, I swear. Okay. I guess, well, how does training work? Do you develop? Do you get XP? Like,
You learn
You
skills.
you essentially
Slowly.
pick the skill you want, and then you work towards that for a period of time based on your intelligence. And once you've put in the amount of weeks worth of time based on that score, you get the skill.
The
Okay.
base is 10 plus your int mod weeks,
oh,
or
Oh,
minus
no.
your int mod weeks.
I was
Sorry.
about to say, yeah,
And then
the smarter you are, the longer it takes.
it
Oh,
costs
the d-
25 gold a week to do that as well.
okay. Gosh. So, do we have a? Is there a thing on Beyond where I can look at all the downtime activities? I could also just like, I'm kind of a little unprepared. If I could maybe like pass my turn and then.
That's totally fine, because it would turn out you're not the only one who isn't prepared. It is only one day into your downtime when all of you would be receiving a summons to meet with Darrett once more in your barracks. Apparently, the Red Dragon army has been causing more distressful situations on the eastern border, something along the lines of raiding caravans, and they need individuals to look into it. We will join our party once again in the ballroom of their barracks, with Darrett hanging over a map of eastern Kalaman. He greets you all warmly before beginning the briefing. Well, I suppose it was only a matter of time before we dealt with more direct aggression from the Red Dragon army, but Vendry has instructed me that I am to get all of you to investigate reports of some sort of barricade that has been assembled near one of the river crossings on the eastern border. It appears the army has been savaging caravans and travelers along that route and stealing valuables as well as taking lives. So, if you would, we would need you to travel east once again, investigate the claims, and if you can find the assailants, put them down, and make sure that operation can't resume again.
This is near the eastern border. You said near the water crossing?
Yes, there's a river ford that used to have a bridge crossing it, but it has since been destroyed through, we assume, inclement weather or age. Investigations as to whether or not that is true are still underway. There's a less popular ford further down the river that people have been using in lieu of it, but it appears the army has set up a barricade there to prevent people from doing that, and then ambushing people as they try to turn around. We have a few reports from survivors who seem to be relaying information that corroborates this.
Oh, we can definitely head that direction then. Do any of you have ways to bring down a barricade?
Piece by piece.
Wondering about quicker way, but
Like what?
Could rip it apart with my bare claws.
Piece by piece.
Perhaps, if your magical studies have been doing well, you could destroy it with some magical fire or explosion.
I can definitely, if it's made of wood, I might be able to set it on fire.
I can't imagine they would have done any stonemasonry on the road. It will be wood.
I don't have any reports that speak of anything unique as to what the barricade does or is built from, so I would assume it's common material.
Then probably would. I have a cantrip that lights things on fire from afar. Could start there. Go from that. If there's anything bigger, if it's metal or something, I can also do that. Stone is where I would have the problem, I believe. Well, even that I have some levitation, but I don't know if that can't really move thing. It's more like bring it up in the air.
Well, at the very least, dispatching whatever forces are manning or maintaining the barricade is the primary goal of the mission. Destroying it is just a secondary one.
One I think would be beneficial for us if we wish to continue using that crossing. We don't want them to just send more people set up there again. We'll see what we can do.
Well, that's good to hear. If you have any further questions, I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability, but that's just about everything Vendry gave me at the briefing.
Do you know anything about this river? How wide it is, or how hard it is to cross, even without the barricade?
Well, it is a ford, so that part of the river is easy enough to cross with foot traffic or with animals. But the river itself is, I guess, just a little bit too deep to be worth attempting. In other places, at least. That's why the bridge was necessary.
Right.
Though it is nothing like the Vingard. It is a smaller river, for sure. I believe at its widest, it's only about 30 feet.
Interesting. So we have some options. We could potentially find a way across a 30-foot gap over the water. Try to go upstream a bit and cross up there, come at it from a unexpected angle, or we could just walk up there and, knowing it's an ambush, be cautious.
It's really not. Can it really be considered an ambush if we know it's coming?
Depends on if you know where it's coming from.
Did not think of that.
Regardless, I think we should have enough information to get started. Unless anybody wants to pick up some materials in town here.
I make my own materials.
Then we should get started in that direction.
Alright.
Very well. I wish you all the best of luck and safe travels. I look forward to hearing what you have to say on the matter when you return. And Derek will give you all a polite nod and excuse himself.
Too bad we didn't keep a barrel of that gunpowder you used in Vogler.
It's too bad.
Would have done a similar strategy here.
There are a lot of too bads for Vogler.
We could perhaps get one, and procure one in the city.
Perhaps. Might be expensive, but let's also see what the armory has here. Stop
true.
by on the way out.
I will meet you at the gate.
Wouldn't be worth a look. We could find something useful.
Yeah. So, you said I'll meet you at the gate? That works?
Indeed.
stop by, see the quartermaster, see if he has anything that potential explosive for a barricade.
I
Worst case, we
feel,
kill everyone and we take it apart.
Alright.
You were saying something there?
I do not want to disturb the plan. It is fine. We'll meet you at the gate.
If you have ideas, we should hear them.
My ideas are I think we are assuming a lot. What if we arrive and it is something simple? Not this large, massive thing we need to explode. Then we have wasted money, resources, time getting it there. If it is made of wood, who cares? We kill the people, we dismantle the thing. It will not take long. We can set it on fire. It will burn naturally.
True.
I do not think we need something so showy. Unless it was made of stone, of course.
Right. And it doesn't sound like they've had time for that.
They simply do not want us to waste resources and time on an assumption.
It's a good call.
I will meet you at the gate.
Sounds good. So, anybody have anything they need before we leave?
I don't think so. I think we are still prepared from the last time we went out. We didn't really use any resources then.
True. Then, I am good to go. Shall we?
Likewise.
So we'll just walk out with you.
All right. So, our party departs Calaman Castle, heading their way east towards the Fisher's Gate to leave the city proper and head down the east road, searching after this barricade that has been erected on a river far outside of Calaman's heartland territory. Now, the map you had been pointed to showed that you're heading about 20 miles east. So just a little bit further than how far you ventured last time when you went to free that farming community. In fact, having reflected on the map, you would note that the two areas are relatively close together. That being said, your travel east is relatively peaceable, with the terrain and weather being agreeable for foot travel.
We're heading towards that village. Keep an eye on the sky as well. Based on those tracks we saw.
In fact, how would we like to work with our marching order?
Nimoy in front with Thrag at his side, Alafi and Eldquin behind.
Perfect. Fun enough, in the
Party sheet.
Yeah, in the party sheet. Wait a minute.
It's a tab on the right side of the
Yep.
party sheet.
In order, there's actually a marching order section.
A formation even.
And a
Yep.
watch order. That's cool.
Oh shit, I always assumed that column was to do with the formation. Wow. Alright, that's even neater. So yeah, I'm gonna position you guys, but feel free to change that if you feel like it.
Just move Dustin down one.
Oh, sure.
Over. So we're in a...
Alright, that works. So, our party begins their travels east, Nimoy, you were leading our group last time as a survivalist. Are you leading this time?
What do you think, Luffy? You or me?
Yeah, you can do it.
All right.
Excellent. So, would you like to do me the solid of giving me a survival check as we make our trek east?
All right.
Is there just a guidance button I can toggle?
We could probably make one.
We probably could. All right. So, our party doesn't run into anything notable as they journey east. Like before, the roads are very quiet. You pass by very few travelers, and you get to just enjoy the solitude of your travel as a result. The weather is agreeable. Unlike before, it isn't raining and thundering. The weather is overcast, cloud cover's pretty heavy. It just adds a level of baseline hazy gray to the day as you continue your trek. Eventually, you do pass by that village, the dilapidated buildings, still abandoned, having cleared out its denizens prior. Now, as you continue to make your way east, you will eventually see a large collection of trees that seems to border the farmland of Kalaman. You would know from your reflecting on the map that Darrett showed you that this is relatively the location of the river. Following this road, you would be led to the bridge, and you know that the ford would be a small detour south.
So there's woods in front of us, like between us and the river? Supposedly?
Yes, the road continues until it hits the woods, which are not terribly dense, but notable enough to essentially be the silhouette of your vision.
Well, if we're close enough, should we leave the road? Try to sneak in here?
It's probably
best
best
bet.
plan.
Probably.
Alrighty.
Okay. So is our party going to attempt to move stealthily through the woods as they make their way south?
Oh,
Because if so, I would love to get some stealth checks from the group.
Does a Laffy want to do pass without a trace?
I guess I can. That is a useful thing for an hour. Pass without a trace.
Yeah.
Oof.
There always has to be one person.
Oh, I accidentally hit a double thing on there.
It is good that we did that. Look at these rolls. 5 or below on all of us.
That's still, pass without a trace saved us.
Yeah.
It's doing some heavy lifting, though.
All right. So, our party, especially thanks to magical aid, is able to shift and vanish well enough into the wooded coverings as they make their way south along the river. You see that the bridge is definitely down. It spans the 25-foot gap in one shore of the river to the other. There is a small ledge or cliff that drops into the river basin. And it's rocky and annoying enough that you can see why a bridge was assembled in the first place. The river is deep enough that you can't quite see the bottom, but it moves slow enough that you imagine people could cross it if they desperately needed to. Now, as you make your way south, the river's width begins to steadily taper until eventually you see that it shallows out enough that you can hear the babbling of water bubbling over rocks. And as you continue to press forward, you find the ford that had been spoken of. It is, in fact, a relatively crossable stretch of terrain that is only 15 feet wide. And on the other side of the riverbank, the one farthest from where you stand, you see that a crude platform has been constructed. It has a defensible palisade-like wall that is directed to the east, and a stand that archers or soldiers could stand upon and fire outwards in relative cover. To the west, it is relatively without any defenses at all. Now, this structure has no one on it at all. And there's no one stationed around it either. The only thing you can really see that stands out is a quiver of arrows that has been left on the top of the barricade.
What is that?
What is what?
Those arrows.
It's a quiver of arrows.
Perhaps someone was standing guard.
Put them in a bow and you shoot them at people.
Well, yes. But
Thought
why
you
is
were
it
the
th-
knight here.
why is it there? Think.
Because
your
there are
brain.
probably people here.
We were sent to disrupt the barricade. As a gesture at the barricade that is here.
Seems odd that it's unmanned.
I do not think it is.
That is what
Likely
I
on
was
the other side as people.
Fair.
They would not just abandon it, unless something more dangerous has come this way. We have bigger things to worry about. Let us investigate closer.
Could be that they wait to hear people crossing the river. That's going to be noisy enough. How far away is the barricade from us?
The barricade is 15 feet away, and it's assembled on the other shore of the river, facing away from the river.
Could set it on fire. It would draw them out.
What I was thinking. Kind of assumed we were a little farther away.
Thanks to the density of the tree cover, you would not see it unless you were nearby. The crossing itself is not a terribly common one, judging by how overgrown the vegetation is. That being said, you don't see or note any movement around here at all.
Interesting.
Well, we should probably work our way up to the barricade.
Or we could set it on fire from here.
I can definitely do that.
I would rather draw them out than put us in a position where we will be the ones being ambushed.
Should I start with the tower?
Do as you please. They'll know where we are if you cast a spell, but we can take up a defensive position.
get to some cover, and then I will start from there. I could go off in different direction further back.
Do
If
what you
they
need to do.
come out to me, then you're flanking them.
It works fine for me. Just know that you will likely be leaving Olafi's veil.
That's a good point. Okay. Do like the first
I can
village.
center myself between the two groups, and then he could be 60 feet away from them.
Having you in the back lines is not a bad idea, Lafi, so perhaps that will work naturally.
Okay.
Zrag and I will stay here, close.
Yes, we can always be here for support.
So the plan is Nimoy and Thrag, and then Laffy, and then like Elquin off
Yeah.
to the side a bit.
With me in a midpoint position of some sort that you can
Mm-hmm.
get some more range away from the rest of the group. Just in case.
Okay. So, what is the first action you will be taking?
After we set up to do that, I would be make sure everybody's ready, and then casting Firebolt on the tower.
Okay. So, you won't need to roll any sort of attack roll. You launch your firebolt. Actually, is it a firebolt?
Yes, 120 foot range.
Can that light things on fire?
A flammable object hit by the spell ignites it if it isn't worn or carried. Yeah.
Perfect. So, the fireball hits the dry wood of the barricade, and you do see a small spark begin to take flame. It is very tiny. You know, it'll probably take a while to actually set the whole thing ablaze, at least as is. Now, you've done this. You spoke your incantations. You could hear your voice echoing out, distorted even as it was by... Actually, are you still within range of Alafi's?
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Yeah, okay. So even distorted as it is by Alafi's Pass Without Trace, there is no response to your activity. After 6, 12, 30 seconds, no one answers your attack.
I mean, probably keep firing, just light the whole thing up. It's a cantrip, right? Just
Strange.
pick different points and light it afire.
Or do we want to investigate?
It'd be worth investigating if we're not getting any response.
If nobody's
Isn't-
home and this tower's on fire.
Isn't the quest just to get rid of this thing?
It was to clear out the people ambushing, and then this was secondary.
Removing it was secondary?
Yes.
Yes, you do recall that Darrett mentioned the barricade and its defenders posed an issue. The primary thing that would need to be done is disposing of those occupying it and preventing trade. And if the barricade could be destroyed, to do so. They didn't actually know what it was constructed out of, just reports said that there was a barricade.
I guess my logic is if they're inside, or on the other side, we light it up, it burns down, and then they're either on the other side, or they're not there. If we go in, I feel as though we are risking ourselves.
I feel like if we go in, we have a chance of figuring out where they went better than we do if it's a bonfire?
The barricade itself is merely just a 15-foot line of wooden palisade laid out with a construction on the back side of it to allow archers to stand 15 feet above the ground. There is no inside to the palisade. The second floor is merely just a wooden platform. Soldiers could stand behind it and be obscured from one side or the other, but there is little other structure here.
Alright, let's move in. And he might just go straight for it. With the Laffy, making sure he's within the void. The veil.
If we can get within 30 feet, I will try to mage hand the quiver that was on top
Okay.
and try to lift that up and kind of bring it closer.
All right. Yeah, you are able to approach the barricade easily. There is no further development as to a response to your presence, and taking the quiver off the top of the fortification is easy enough. You see that it is black leather adorned with red stitchwork, and the symbol of Takis is proudly emblazoned upon it. The arrows themselves appear to be rather crude but vicious-looking arrowheads that would absolutely rip flesh if they were ever tried to be removed. That being said, your party has approached the barricade. There is no one behind it or around it. At this point, it would be safe to say that it has been abandoned. Those of you with a good perception, however, would see that a struggle has recently taken place about 15 feet in front of the barricade. You can see what appears to be part of an overturned wagon that is mostly covered by brush. You can see that there are many footprints stamped in the relatively moist ground, and even a few tree marks slashing at nearby branches, and a couple arrows embedded in another nearby tree. All of these things look to be at least recent enough that they haven't been soaked by a recent rainfall.
Can I go up and look at the wagon?
You could.
Yeah, Drag will inspect the wagon.
Okay. So, you approach where the wagon is, 15 feet away from the barricade. As you approach it, you see that there is more just around this small bend of trees than what you could initially see from the barricade itself. It appears to be a small collection of wagons had been looted here. There are two of them, or at least there were two wagons. One of them has been completely obliterated, while the other one was turned over and one of its wheels destroyed, probably in the ensuing fight. You can see the remains of several boxes and chests strewn about the area, as well as pools of blood that have since been soaked into the soil. There was for sure a battle here, but you can tell two wagons would have been holding a lot more than you see as rubble in this area, and has probably been removed.
Where are the bodies?
I'll look for signs of tracks or anybody being dragged away or bodies
Absolutely.
hitting the ground or something like that.
Yeah,
I
give me a
will
survival check.
assist you.
Jesus.
Was that double natural 20s?
Yeah, I think one of them was a 14.
One of them rolled over at the last minute.
Okay.
Okay, so with your expert survival senses, you were able to very quickly discover where bodies had been deposited. They were done well. the people who did this know how to hide a body, but you know how to find them. Moving the brush aside, you see at least 16 corpses. They've been hidden in several piles amongst the trees and covered with vegetation. Most of them, judging from the state of their bodies and clothes, were civilians. You do note a couple men in this group that have harnesses as well as other gear used to secure armor, but that armor is nowhere to be seen. They all died from vicious melee attacks, some of them rent by claws.
Do these look like Dragon Army people?
No, these are civilians. The 2 soldiers I spoke of are human.
So we don't see any dragon people army bodies. Was this a Calaman outpost?
The bridge is in Kalaman territory, but there is no military fortification around here.
So this outpost that was made, who made this?
It was reported that it was being manned by Dragon Army soldiers.
It was being
Previously,
manned by Dragon Army soldiers.
Yes. Previously, it was simply just a ford that people used to cross the river, and has been used since the bridge was destroyed. But there had never been any sort of fortification built here.
So this palisade and small wall were built by these Dragon Army fellows.
According to reports, yes.
So it seems like they killed the people for this wagon thing, and maybe they're taking the goods from that back to the main host or something.
Why would they
So
leave this place abandoned?
Because it's not worth anything. Like, they're there to get stuff, right, off of these caravans. They're not trying to hold a post. It's just a good spot to raid.
It's a bandit camp, not a fortification.
Right. I guess just it being a palisade and a small wall, even made of wood, it just feels a little more permanent in my mind. But I guess if it's something temporary, all right.
How do the people of Kalaman feel about burning style, flame funerals, like burning their dead?
Give me a religion check.
Okay. I'm good at that. Yeah. Hey, 12, that's decent.
Yeah, not bad. 12, it would definitely change depending on deities that were worshipped, but generally it is accepted, especially in scenarios like this where proper burials are unlikely to be had.
Okay. Then, since they are already in a pile of brush,
Look for identifiers, maybe.
yeah.
Search the pockets. Just if there are families,
Yeah.
can potentially deliver those, but
I'm going to keep a lookout, figure out what you guys want to do here.
these
And
claw marks, though, do you know what could have made these?
the claw marks? It is likely some dragon beast.
Same one we saw the tracks of, or are
Perhaps.
these different sizes?
Emoy, having seen similar wounds to this, you know that the Draconians like to fight using their claws, and you've seen similar wounds, especially in your time around Vogler. So you could suspect that Draconian soldiers made these battle marks.
It is not uncommon. It's draconian warriors. Just more signs of the dragon army. Seems as though they succeeded in their task to waylay this road, and they left once they got something good.
Perhaps we could use this to our advantage. Turn this into an ambush. Wait for them to return.
Do we think that they
We're-
will return?
I think there's as good of a chance that they will never return as they will return. So
I am
it's
not
better to
willing
track
to.
them.
I am not willing to waste my time with that, personally. But if you want to look around the camp more, you three, I can just be a lookout. Make sure that we are not ambushed while we are doing this.
Also
Un-
try to track them down away from the camp.
If they have left, the threat is gone, is it not?
Yes and no.
What are a few members of the Dragon Army when we have legions throughout this land? It is putting a small dent in a large problem.
That was our assignment, though. Is stop this from happening again. And if we leave now, we may well have never come.
Alright. Guess this is going to be harder than I expected. Let's track them down then. Nimoy will look for tracks.
Perfect. Give me that survival check. All right. You suspected where you might find it, having been looking through the bodies, and surely enough, you see several sets of footprints as well as drag marks from heavy encumbrance, something large that they dragged with them through the underbrush. It would be easy enough to track.
They found their trail. We can run them down.
Well, we can
Did
see.
Elquin find anything identifier on the bodies?
I forgot to have you roll for that. Please give me a perception check. Or an investigation, since you're searching bodies.
I was also going to ask, are we within range of the Fargab? I'm guessing we're out, but
The Fargab has an 18-mile range, and you are 20 miles out.
okay. 13 for that investigation.
Nice. So, with that 13, you would not see anything here that identifies anyone as citizens of Calaman, but their clothes and garb definitely local garb. So these were probably farmers or traders that regularly make their way through the territory. Of the few bits of arms and armaments you discovered, none of them are bearing any heraldry that identify them as belonging to any particular city-state.
Nothing here to really identify them other than their garb, so I'm good to carry on, track these things down.
But I guess I druid craft the brush pile or so at least scavengers won't get to them, and then also make a little small fire next to the of twigs, like small campfire sized fire next to the barricade, and light that, and then continue following Nimoy.
All right, sounds good.
When the party's ready, Nimoy will lead them down the tracks.
Is the party ready? Would everybody like to depart the barricade and start hunting down these assailants?
So you started a campfire, you said?
Yeah, but against the barricade.
Oh, okay. Meaning to light it up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll cast a few cantrips of the firebolt to get that going. Although this could let them know we're coming. But at least we'll have gotten this out of the way.
Could have done it on the way back, but it's fine. Unless they have a dragon with them, I believe we'll be able to ambush them.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So, our group make their way into the woods following the damaged thrush that the enemy left behind while they dragged their loot away from the caravan. It is only about 15 minutes worth of walking through the woods further south until you come across signs of activity. Now, having made your way all the way here in a day, the sun is beginning to set and darkness is setting in. What you see ahead of you is a campfire illuminating a small opening in a set of trees where you see several tents have been set up. Moving among the individuals in this camp are soldiers. They wear proudly their black and red scales and armor. You have definitely found a camp of Dragon Army soldiers. Of their number, you can easily count that there are 7. Oh, sorry, 6.
Do we see any of the dragony guys?
You do not. All of those assembled here appear to be human.
Appear to be missing
a-
part of the group.
Taking a cue from last time, Eldquint's gonna look up in the treetops for the guys that jumped down on top of us last time.
All right, give me a perception.
I'll look around too.
I
Excellent. So 2 individual checks, or are you giving him advantage?
Individual.
Will do.
I always forget where.
Nice. With the campfire gently illuminating the canopy above, it allows you to easily see that among the low-hanging branches of these trees, you see no individuals lurking above. Likelihood of being ambushed like you were a couple days ago, very unlikely.
You said they're all wearing the armor and everything?
Yep.
Okay. Well, should we just do the same plan we had for other things, or just fan out an ambush?
No reason to be fancy.
Okay.
Do seem to have the element of surprise here, especially thanks to your pass without a trace.
How long's it been since we cast that?
15 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it lasts an hour. I was just.
Yeah, thank you for tracking.
Let's fan out. Jump them. Kill them fast. Finish this business.
Maybe keep one to figure out where their dragon overlords are, because there were definitely claw marks on some of those dead.
We'll see who that lucky individual is. If you see one left, knock them out.
Only try.
Thrag,
Oh.
I imagine that would be your realm.
I could do this.
And also,
I'm not good at not killing things.
I can move one off of the ground. We'll be disoriented for a time.
Let us worry about that when the majority are dead.
Sounds good.
Getting a map this time, or is this gonna be another theater of the mind?
Oh, there's a map this time.
Sweet. I'm okay with either way. I was just curious.
Provided to you by me, and not the campaign.
We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate all that you do.
Aw,
I need
you guys
DM.
didn't need to say that. I do love getting to have a bunch of, you know, uh-oh. I do enjoy getting to have battle maps.
Mm.
Did I make a mistake, Batman?
Here's the. We've taken them all out already.
Interesting.
It was so efficient that I can't even remember that we did it.
Okay. So because it was generated, it didn't save the setup.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. It's relatively easy to just make these rather quickly, but just means I have to replace everything.
If you need a 5 minute, I can throw it on a break.
Oh no, we're already good. I'm
Okay.
already done. I just have to unhide them all.
Cool.
Also drag our party onto the map, and I suppose since it is important, all of you can. Oh, I've already shared the map. What am I talking about?
Roll initiative.
I will need an initiative roll, as well as for all of you to reposition yourselves where you would like to be, since you are ambushing here. But remember, you have to be within 30 feet of a Laffy.
You need to let us move free.
Wow, an actually good int roll.
I'll just stay at this tree. Everyone can move around. This tree seems like a good spot.
Why am I'm on a weird, not this grid.
No, you're on the grid. You just.
The grid is just. I think the grid is
It's off
slightly
when you go to the
different
side.
size than the.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that happens sometimes when maps have like their own grid on them.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's close enough.
pay no worry. And let me unhide these guys.
Everyone's just on the square that they're the closest to the most in.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
I'm just. It's fine. I guess.
Nimoy's right next to him. Yeah, I mean, feel free to reposition yourself.
No. This makes sense.
Nimoy's gonna take out the guy going. That's peeing.
Oh no, he went to piddle. Classic mistake. Never use the bathroom. Just full stop. Alright. Well, you all have the element of surprise here. They aren't aware that you are hiding in the trees. Thrag is the first on initiative. Whenever you want to kick off this fight, Thrag, feel free.
Who looks like the lead? Who's the closest that's looking like the leader here?
One individual has fancier armor than the rest. And that would be the Dragon Army officer.
Oh, there is actually one that is an officer. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Okay.
about to make a joke about it's Frank over there, but
I guess I'll be over here.
These are the men
not
you're
too far
fighting.
away.
Oh, we are no. Okay, never mind. I'll be right here.
Yeah, you've got.
Love that this guy that's just peeing is just gonna get murdered.
I'm gonna leave the peeing guy to Nimoy. Yeah, Thrag is. So I just imagine this is a nice, quiet evening for these guys, and all of a sudden, just a lion roar, like a growl, as Thrag will bonus action rage, and let me just get that ability. Come on. Okay, so that should be. Wait, come on. Can you clear my abilities, please, Kyle?
Sure, you do have a few of them, don't you?
All of them. I think most of that's rage.
Yeah, just I've stacked rage. All right, there we go. So that is rage, and yeah, I'm going to run up to this officer. Will I get attack of opportunity from this guy?
During surprise condition, you cannot use reaction, so you're
Nice.
pretty free, I think.
All right. Well, I will use my Knight of Solemnia ability, and I will have advantage on this attack. I will also use my, if I can find it, we'll use my. Oh wait, no, I have to I have to target myself for this.
It should be doing it to yourself already.
No, it's the divine attack.
That was set up so it was self already.
Oh, okay.
So
So
we fixed most of them last
yeah,
session.
yeah. Okay, applying divine fury. So now that that's done, I will roll battle axe. That is a nat 20.
Ooh. Well, that's a good way to start.
Oh no, fight's finally happened. Okay, so I guess I'm not sure why I thought
You
the
should be
radiant.
able to just roll damage, and it'll go from
How
there.
do I just roll? Oh, okay, all right.
There you go.
Oh, that
Move.
things.
Holy crap!
Crunch.
That also is not the Knight of Solemnia ability. I have not added that in. So that does precise attack from Knight of Solemnia does 1d8, so that's 2d8 damage.
Yep.
Oh, you have to turn off your.
Oh, yeah, I have to turn. Okay, ignore that damage.
We'll reset that up at some point, so it just works for a single attack.
All right, I'll just roll this d8.
2d8.
That's right. All right, well that's just 13 damage anyways. All right, so that's
So
that's
Kyle
36.
doesn't have to do anything.
That's
because
36
first
damage.
Yeah. Well, I already did, so unfortunately I just had to do it again. So Thrag rushes from the tree cover, catching this entire camp by surprise as he charges right into the center of it, and then crushes into this dude's armor with his heavy battle axe, bloodying him in a single strike. As shouts ring out, men grabbing for weapons, it will be Nimoy's turn.
Alright. This guy's taking a pee.
Yeah, he's taking a pee, but he has whipped around to follow Thrag's charge through the camp.
Oh, big mistake.
And
That
has
kid's run
exposed-
within 5 feet of him.
Has exposed his butt cheeks to me.
He's exposed his lily white butt cheeks to you.
Alright, I fire into the butt cheek. Alright, here we
Point
go.
blank, fire into the butt cheek, right?
Cool. Got a favorite foe. Dread ambusher. Get some damage going for this.
Nimoy clapping that ass.
And then I will do my extra attack from Dread Ambusher. Well, technically that would have been my second. Can we remove the Dread Ambusher damage from that attack?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which one was that?
The D8.
The D8?
Yeah, I
Yep.
believe
Okay.
my second attack has to be the Dread Ambusher, if I recall.
Yeah. It does.
Yep, so you can remove that. And then this is the Dread Ambusher. Oh, bummer. And then the bonus action. Oh, bummer. Turn.
Alright. Yeah, one bolt lands square in his left butt cheek, and his shocked wailing and flailing makes the follow-up shots just graze his armor. Nimoy has just ended his turn. That brings us to Eldquin.
I'm going to target these two, which are within 5 feet of each other, so I can Sacred Flame both of them. I will cast it.
Oh, damn it. In Red Dragon Army School, they learned about spacing.
One of them failed, it looks like. Let's
Yep.
see. And then if I hit damage, 6 damage there. Just hit the one. I forgot to say I was gonna quicken it. Oh well. I will hold off until next round. Let's see. I will actually move a little bit here. I'll kind of step out from behind the trees here. To there.
Excellent. Yeah, you step out, let your sacred flame rip through the air. You burn one of them, the other one turning, having had the flames deflect off his armor, shouting sorcerer into the night as he reaches for his armaments. Alathy.
I trying to figure out what I want to do that doesn't use concentration, because there's no point in using up concentration right now.
What, you think this fight isn't going to last 45 minutes?
I feel like there are more of them in this area. So we'll go with Ray of Sickness. That's a good one. Yeah, we'll Ray of Sickness the guy that's closest to me. Dragon Soldier 4.
Ooh.
And then I will Archer form. And attack him again. But miss.
All right. Anything else you would like to do before we roll over to the next phase or the next round?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Okay. So they have lost their surprised condition, right?
This turn they cannot act, right?
Well, they were first last turn, so.
Because it's just a condition once combat starts, so technically they were ahead on the initiative.
Right. So they
So-
actually could have.
They can do stuff this round, yeah.
They could have hit Thrag also because they went first.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Would have been one
right.
attack opportunity.
Well,
Just
then I'm
Dragon
I'm absolutely going to take advantage of that, and we're going to roll that back and have Piss Guard take a slap at Thrag.
Would he have had a weapon?
Yeah, his two-handed longsword.
He hits Thrag.
He does.
I take, I resist.
Yeah, you take 5 damage. All right. Have no fear, though. It was his actual blade and not his other two-handed longsword. All right.
So your pants might be wet.
You might have gotten a little spritzing as you ran by. All right. So it is the enemy's turn. They no longer have the surprise condition. The officer is going to... Okay. He's going to use his multi-attack.
Dragon's gonna dodge very well.
Hopefully. He is going to take from the side of his tent his vicious lance. And he is going to attack Thrag with it.
Is it a Dragonlance?
No,
Okay.
it's just a vicious lance. All right, there we go. He's actually targeting Thrag now. Let's do it. All right, those are 2 hits. For 7 and 8 damage. 2 mighty blows stabbing into Thrag and unleashing draconic fury upon him. Now, let's see. That's his turn. Next up, Dragon Army Soldier 1. He is going to go after Thrag, who's attacking his commanding officer, and make 2 longsword attacks. Both of them misses. Dragon Army Soldier 2, having just dodged a firebolt, is going to go chase down the source of that firebolt. Or Sacred Flame, rather.
So as he is stepping into my range,
Uh-oh.
I have Warcaster and Polearm Master, so he actually triggers an attack of opportunity. I can use a single target spell in lieu of a attack as well.
You could use Sacred Flame again and hit them both.
I cannot. That is one of the stipulations of the Warcaster thing. Single target. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is which frost one it is.
No reactionary fireball.
No, none of that.
Reactionary Fireball would be hilarious, though.
Oh my god.
I'm going to cast Frostbite at him. Am I targeting him? There we go. Okay, so that will not hit, I think. Or is that a save?
That was his
That was a save. Okay. So he will take 2 points of damage and have disadvantage on his next attack.
Excellent.
And now it's back to his turn.
All right. And now it is his turn with that disadvantaged attack. Oh, he misses. That's the good stuff. He does have multi-attack, though. So he's going to follow that up. Yep. He's attacking with 2 hands. So that's 8... 12 total damage as he strikes at you with his flaming longsword.
Flaming longsword. Oof.
Yes, the dragon officer's lance was also alight with flame when it struck.
Oh, something I don't think it did for the spell on my one. I don't think Ray of Sickness applied the poison effect, or at least I can't see it on him.
Oh, did it not?
For 4.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. Let
Okay.
me...
Oh, yeah, 4 that for mine.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm checking him right now.
I'm like, Ray of Sickness does something else. I can't remember what.
Yeah, he should be poisoned. Well, we'll just remember he has disadvantage if he does try to attack anybody, because I believe that's what that does, right? The poison
Yeah.
condition? Yeah, okay. So, soldier number 3.
Oh, that's why. I can fix it. 1 sec. It is not poison because it's a separate con save.
Oh, okay.
I fixed it, so it's fine.
Cool. All right. Soldier 3 is going to turn and attack the man who just shot him in the butt. He doesn't have the time to re-equip his drawers, so he's going to do it bottomless. Such is the desperation that he is in right now, as he makes 2 attacks with his longsword. Oh, all right. One of them is a
Desperately
crit.
attacked.
All right. right, so that's a total of 23 damage. As he wheels around, that sword gripped in both hands, fire on his blade and in his eyes as he strikes down against Nimoy. Soldier 4. He has a clear approach to a Laffy.
I did just shoot him.
Yeah, you did just shoot him. So I think what he's going to do is he's going to jump over here. He's going to take out a javelin. And he's going to make 2 attacks at a Laffy. All right. Both of them are hits. As flaming javelins rip into you, both of them sound strikes. He then drops down prone behind the log.
Oh, you're targeting Nimoy for both of those. That's why.
What? No,
Yeah, you're
He's-
you're hitting Nimoy.
but it says he's targeting a Laffy. Oh, but I'm rolling on Dragon Army Soldier 4.
Okay.
Nimoy's not dead. Nimoy's quite alive. Sorry, buddy.
On a positive note, one of those misses me. That's why I noticed.
All right. Quick little fixer up here.
Just a little
Sounds-
fix.
Now let's put that a lot less alarming. Let's see. Which was the one that missed? Was it the first or second one? First one. All right. So you'll only be taking the 8 damage, Alafi.
Okay.
So here you go. Boop. 8 damage.
Apparently I
Soldier
may have
5.
To... Oh, and where is that?
Okay.
Good enough.
Good enough. Soldier 5 is also going to go after Eldquin.
If it hits, I'm gonna shield.
Will do. I will let you know.
Or wait, no, I'm not. I used my reaction.
Right, you did. That is 1. All right, only 1 hit. For 7 total damage.
Oh,
I might have to use my concentration for something.
I'm almost dead.
I may have to use my concentration for something.
All right. And that finally brings us back to Thrag.
Do we want to run?
Let me see if we can break the command structure here really sec. Because Dragon, they're all kind of wounded. They're not doing good either. I also could do my roar as a bonus action to scare them, to make them run away. If you want
It
to
just
try
makes
that.
them frightened so they can't approach you, I believe, right?
Let me look at the ability really quick. It is Daunting Roar. As a bonus action, you can let out an especially menacing roar. Creatures of your choice within 10 feet of you that can hear you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the end of the next turn.
It means they can't approach you.
Oh, they can't approach me?
And they have
They-
disadvantage to attack you. Or a disadvantage to attack if they can see you.
That's true. Yeah, I'm going to do the Daunting Roar as a bonus action. I'm going to have everybody be affected by me.
All right. If you
It'll
use
affect-
it while targeting everybody in range, it should roll their saves.
Yeah, it should affect that guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me use my. So if I use it,
It is an ability you have on your sheet, right?
yes. I'm struggling to not. For some reason, my character sheet won't open up.
So click on your portrait. It should pop up. Open.
I did. I exited out just for a minute. Counters, quest, story. Is there no other?
So it's only going to be the officer and the one by Nimoy and the one next to the officer who are affected.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just control left click those.
I just can't open
And
up my character sheet for some reason.
Is it because it's already open and it might be behind a window?
No, I have the map as my screen, so it's not a window. I just. Huh. All right, there we go. Figured it out. All right, actions. I do not have Daunting Roar on my abilities, but I have it on my sheet.
Okay, so I'll
Just
just have
strange.
them make those rolls. What's the DC?
I believe it would be my.
Probably a will.
Yeah.
It is for sure.
One second, I'll look on this D&D
let me-
Beyond sheet.
Let me look.
It should be a DC 13, Wisdom.
Cool. All right, the officer succeeds, rolling a critical. The soldier 1 succeeds. Soldier 3. Critical fail.
Well,
Yeah,
Soldiers 3 can't
alright.
approach you. That's positive.
Yes. Soldier 3.
That's just a bonus action.
Nimoy can see the hair beginning to stand on end as his eyes grow wide, hearing that roar behind him.
Yeah. Okay, so not Nimoy, Thrag is going to do another his final Night of Solemnia attack. And he's going to try to attack the officer again. See if he can finish what he started.
And
That'll
that's
do.
a hit.
Okay. So I'm going to do my battle axe damage.
Excellent. Another hefty strike.
Well, wait a minute. I have the Night of Solemnia
So it's
damage.
Nice. So, another hefty strike crunching into the plate of that officer who stands steadfast, gritting through the pain, blood leaking from between his teeth as he readies his lance to retaliate. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Oh shit. No, he just growls.
All right, Nimoy, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to strike at Dragon Army Soldier 3 with my short sword. It's a miss, but my mobile feat still goes off, so I will not get opportunity attacks from him on this turn. I'm going to
nice.
deselect him. I'll move 5, 10. I'm going to take a shot at Dragon Army Officer in front of Zrag that's low. Crossbow.
Last hit.
Ooh, nice.
Additional 5. That does not kill him, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Perfect.
Turn.
All right. Eldquin, you are surrounded. Not surrounded. You are just ensnared in melee combat.
Yeah.
I am
believe we
going
should run.
to spend 2 sorcery points, and I am going to twin spell Mind Spike. With a range of
Maybe if we
60
kill
feet.
the officer, we can.
They're gonna get another
force-
round, and I think people are gonna drop. I'm taking cover, by the way, Kyle. If I could get half cover for some extra AC or something like that over here in the trees.
Will do. That's totally achievable.
So I'm gonna hit the guy next to me as well as the officer. I am going to. I gotta hit. Still.
Which one? 2 or 5? 2's already taken some damage. 5 is relatively fresh.
2, I believe.
Okay.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I'm targeting him. So it's wisdom saves. Shit, they both
Ooh, they succeeded.
did. It's still half damage. So. Alrighty.
Oh my god.
They're still up.
The officer is still up.
Alrighty.
What a guy.
Yeah, you can see him retching in pain as the mind spike crushes around his head.
Yeah.
A Laffy, use an AoE. Use a power you haven't used yet.
Alrighty. I am gonna call it there.
A Laffy.
Okay, I am gonna cast Wither and Bloom. Here, so it's get this group.
Four succeeded, but 2 and 5 did not.
I'm going to use a. I have to look up a thing real quick. I've never used this, so. I'm gonna use 2 hit dice worth of damage additionally on the green one next to Elfquin.
Okay.
But
Oh, and we had a day, so I should have an extra hit dice, right?
and you can use a hit die right now. With
Yeah.
a wisdom bonus of mine. So you get a +4 additionally. to
Okay,
that hit
so
die.
just so I should spend a hit die.
And then
add-
get +4 more.
Okay. Does it still do my Constitution mod?
Let me double check the spell. Is roll one of your unspent hit dice to regain a number of hit points equal to. Oh, it's just a straight 4. It looks like. Is that better than? I look at it.
A straight 4.
Yeah, you just get 4 health if you use
Okay.
a hit die if you want.
Okay. Then I will definitely do that.
And then this other guy is going to take. How do I add multiple dice?
I can't remove a hit dice without rolling it. Oh, here we go. Well, maybe not.
And then extra.
I should be at 3, so this works fine.
Sorry, this is this one I haven't set up yet because. An extra. Yeah, just straight that much damage. Extra 12 damage to the other one next to Elfquin.
So 5.
12.
No, Dragon Army Soldier 5.
Go Dragon Armor Soldier 5.
What about 5?
I did the hit points. I used 2 of my hit dice on him.
Oh, so the 12 is hitting him.
Yes.
Got it.
I just said I didn't set that up as a power yet. I forgot about it when I was doing my powers.
No problem. I was totally just jamming out to the music and not
Yeah.
hearing you. All right. Is that the conclusion of your turn?
Now I'm going to use my archer form as my bonus action to shoot the leader, I guess. After I untarget everyone. Which one's 4? Oh, there we go.
What's the range on the archer form?
Like 60 feet.
Okay, you're well within range.
Yeah. Okay.
Poof. All right.
The us recovering round.
He had to die from tiny cuts. He just got
Yeah.
bitty bits of damage
Yep.
to him at a time.
Yep.
Oh, that was so scary. All right. Yeah, with that final blow, the Dragon Army soldier drops his lance. Sorry, officer drops his lance, falling backward in a bloody and burned heap.
I think I did like 80 damage to that guy.
No,
Or
not at all.
approaching.
No
Set
way.
like 36 damage. Okay, like 50 or 60.
If you did 80 damage, he would have been dead already.
Oh, Dragon Soldier 2 is dead too.
Yeah, he's dead.
Well-
I just haven't gotten to his turn yet.
Okay.
All right. It'll be Soldier 1's turn. His commander having fallen, he shouts a battle cry. Ah! Calamani filth! And he will attack twice. For 2 misses. And... poor turn.
Might be turning back
2.
in our favor.
That was the let's spend some spell slots on my turn.
Yep, same here. Oh yeah, I spent the
5,
2nd level spell slot.
Okay, Soldier 3, in a terrified panic or frightened panic, is going to run away from the roar from the center of camp and attack a Laffy.
Okay, that is positive actually. I'm the one with the most hit points right now.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a crit.
That's less pleasant.
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I will react with
Moderate damage.
absorb elements for the fire.
Excellent. So that'll have the fire damage, right?
I think I roll. Let me look real quick.
Nullify it.
Yeah, it's a roll. Didn't actually let me roll. It's a fact I had to apply the way they wrote it. So
Okay. So I'll take 2 damage back. Boop. Abilities. Oh wait, where is it?
oh, you're right. It is halved. I get that on my next attack. Thank you, Ed.
Excellent. So that's actually just 1 more HP. Boop.
Sweet. Nice.
Awesome. All right. So that leaves 3 done. Soldier 4, he is going to get up, see that his commander has been slain. He's got a relatively healthy friend attacking the demon deer. He is going to go after Thrag and avenge his officer.
But I did not slay him. Self-defense.
I think if any of us don't have a self-defense claim on him, it's you.
It's literally the guy that initiated combat in cold blood.
Semantics.
2 flaming longsword strikes
Ugh.
for a considerable amount of damage. All right.
Thrag's not doing that well.
And that'll bring us to 5. Who's still next to Eldquin and is going to continue to be next to Eldquin until he dies. Or Eldquin moves. All right. He's still targeting you, so that's 2 longsword
Shield.
strikes.
Definitely shielding if he hits.
That's 1 miss. And
Doesn't matter if
that's a
you
hit.
Now hold on. It could just be like really minimal, like 4 1s.
It's
Oh
true.
no, I was saying shield wouldn't have. Oh.
Oh.
All right. 18, 19, 20, 24 damage.
Yeah, that would have taken me almost out anyway on its own.
All right, with a
Okay.
triumphant battle cry, he pulls that sword in both of his hands and brings it down upon Eldquin, and we watch him fall in a spray of blood and ash. And that'll bring us to Thrag's turn. Oh, actually, Eldquin's down, so what he's going to then do...
Oh,
5.
you rolled those fire damage as separate damage things, so I have 2 failed death throws right now.
Yeah, they're not linked to their attacks for whatever reason, so I'll take those back here in a second. 1, 2. Alright, he's gonna rush Thrag. Cool. So let's run back over to our good boy Eldquin as I give it over to Thrag. And remove those death throws. Thrag, feel free to take your turn.
Who is the most damaged out of these boys?
5 and 4 look relatively equally dead. Or damaged. They're both bloodied and furious.
Thrag is going to look at 5 and I'm all out of my good boy swings, but Thrag is going to. Nope, it's gonna miss. Can I use inspiration?
Not after rolling.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that has to end my turn.
All right. Nimoy.
Just give me a second.
Bring him down, Nimoy.
Nimoy can bring down his original target.
No,
His-
I'll be
his-
attacking the low HP guys.
His immortal enemy, Dragon Army Soldier 3.
Each creature. Yeah, I can't hail. Hail would hurt. Thrag.
Drag.
So I'm not gonna do
Well,
that.
you could target like. Oh, does it target around a guy?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
You're good. Alright, let's see here. It's 40? Yeah, cool. Put myself next to my brother. Target 4. Nice. Bonus action.
Oof.
Okay, guys. Turn. Good luck.
This is one of those nights where we roll like crap and they roll
Right.
really good.
Yeah, I guess. All right, Eldquin.
I already made my death save. It did that
Yep.
automatically, so failed on that one.
All right, Al Laffy, it's your turn.
Okay. depending on which thing is most likely to kill somebody. I am going to, even though it is at disadvantage, I am going to target 3 and guiding bolt him because it's the most likely to actually cause damage to him or kill him in one shot. Okay, so that one's down. I will target 4 now.
Did that get rolled with disadvantage?
Oh, it didn't.
Ooh.
That's weird. It should have. It didn't auto do it. That's weird.
It probably. Yeah.
I'll roll a second one real quick.
Miss.
Oh.
It missed.
So bring him
That
back.
shouldn't have said anything. All right. Okay, so Dragon Army Soldier 3, not dead.
But 2.
How much damage was done?
13.
13.
It said
13.
damage exceeded by 3, so he should be at 10.
Ah, cool. Thank you, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will. Guess if I'm engaged, it's at disadvantage no matter how. If I fire out, correct? For ranged spell attacks.
I'm pretty sure it's only if you're hitting somebody engaged with you. So if you're shooting past someone, you should be fine.
Okay. I'm still gonna
Go ahead.
attack the one that is. Actually, no. It's better for me to attack the 3. Even though it's.
With Eldquin down, I'm committed to dying here.
Still didn't do it. I even pressed the disadvantage button before attacking.
Just roll a second time. Miss.
Jeez.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
It's bonus action, right?
Yeah, it's bonus action, and there's no point in me moving away from this guy.
All right.
Try.
Dragon Army Soldier 1 is going to attack Thrag. Two misses. All right. 3 is going to take his turn. Going to make 2 attacks against a Laffy, pressing the advantage of not being obliterated by a guiding bolt.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh wait, guiding bolt has half damage.
oh, does it?
Yeah, because it's a spell. Say it's. Oh no, it's a range spell.
It's an attack roll.
Yeah, never mind. Alright, so he hit and that's in his thing.
Yes.
What have they gotten? 3 crits this thing?
Why was he rolling with
multi-attack
this-
7
oh,
characters? That's 14 rolls. It's bound to have crits.
Yeah.
Okay, he was unconscious.
Oh,
Oh,
he still
that-
let him roll, but with disadvantage
Yeah.
because he's
Fine.
unconscious.
Yeah. All right.
I think
so
he got a net 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this might be a TPK, boys, or a capture.
I mean, I think you should re-roll if there's that big of a discrepancy.
There's not. It was a 20 and a 20 and 18. I'm staring right at the rolls.
Yeah.
There's not a discrepancy unless we're trying to be nice to ourselves.
All right, that's 2 hits. One was a crit.
Yeah,
so I'll
I'm
just
down.
roll a 38.
Just done.
All right, that's a Laffy down.
You also death saving throwed me twice.
Yep, I was already going to it. I was like, I bet I know what just happened. All right, so here we go. Main, get those saving throws off.
That guiding bolt wouldn't have missed. I would have killed that guy, and then this round I was gonna take out 2 of those guys.
Dice can be dice.
Yeah.
All right, Soldier 4, pressing his advantage on Thrag. 2 attacks, miss and miss. Thrag has been
He has a
training.
green shield.
Thrag has been training with Darrett and has learned a few things about last stands.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Last soldier. One hit. He was not targeting Thrag. 'Cause I'm smart like that. For 6 total damage.
4.
Thrag is still up
He takes 4.
because of the resistance. So
It
let me
was
go in here.
saying that it was resisting in previous damage things, but yeah, that one's not doing it.
That,
he
that
wasn't
one is because he
targeting him.
wasn't targeted. I just rolled the raw damage.
Oh, right.
All right. Thrag. 6 attacks were thrown your way, and you dodged and parried 80% of them, managing to still be standing as your party falls one by one at the edge of the camp. It is you and Nimoy standing against 4 Red Dragon Army soldiers.
Let's see if I have any abilities that my, Deus Ex Machina abilities.
That's my job.
Claws, Hunter's Instinct, Unarmored Defense, Primal Path, Divine Fury. No. Yeah, I have. If I do, the problem is if I do Reckless Attack, I'm dead.
I think you're dead
Uh,
anyway. But go for it. Get that swing in.
And relax. Don't be so. We might pull through this.
You have 6 attacks coming your way. Potentially 8.
Unless you take out 1 and he takes out 1.
And I'm fine. I'm just being realistic, man.
All right, I'm going to attack. Yeah.
I would attack one of the red ones.
Oh well, yeah. I'm attacking one of the red ones already.
Who are you targeting?
5. I'm attacking 5.
Okay.
Let's go, Thrag.
Believe in
Come
you, Brad.
on.
Hit.
Oh, that's a hit.
hit.
Let's go.
Is that enough? Hey,
One down.
Yes. All right, with a triumphant blow, you destroy the man who is able to get through your defenses. He falls to the ground in a crumple of broken plate and chain, bleeding out on the floor.
Yeah. Despite their war cries, Thrag roars even louder.
All right, Nimoy, it's your turn.
Max damage.
Dude.
Yes.
Got him.
I missed killing that guy by that little damage.
A bolt flies true, sending one of the others engaging Thrag to the floor.
Turn.
Eldquin, no! Okay. The Laffy, yay!
I thought Lavi rolling a 20 death saving throw would be amazing right now.
She just gets back up. Oh, that would be epic. Okay, Thrag.
Here comes the crits.
There's one. He's 1. Come on.
There's 2.
No, he's dead. They're both dead.
No, there's,
Yeah,
there's
there's
another
one by
one
me.
next to a Laffy.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He could. I guess he could run up to me and kill me.
Dragon
That's-
Army Soldier 1 attacks Thrag.
Hit. One miss.
1 hit, 1 miss. 4, 6
Resisted.
and 1.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
not too bad.
Thrag still holding on. All right. Soldier 3's turn.
Damn.
He is going to go after Thrag.
Damn.
All right, here we go.
You have a better AC than me, so. Yes. No.
1 hit
Yes.
for
Yes.
Oh
3
my God.
damage.
Oh my god.
Thrag! All right. The middle of camp is literally turning into a blender of blood and steel.
Has anyone seen Nobody with Bob Odenkirk? Or that fight in Daredevil on Netflix where they start off really well choreographed and it just becomes these like brutal slugfests of like people like I don't want to fight anymore.
I have not, but it is your turn.
It's time, Soldier 3. It's time.
Crush him.
All right, I'm gonna shout. What's his name? Why can't I remember his name?
Darret.
No.
In
Kilk in Kenny Joreth's name. And I'm a hit him.
Yes, you
Uh,
are.
I'm a hit him. I believe.
Hit him. Do it. You called Kiri Jolith's name.
damn.
Nope.
And like most on this earth, your calls go unheeded.
Oh my god.
All right, Ed.
Or did Kiri Jolith choose to put
Well, I
his
didn't
divine
use my
wrath?
inspiration. Fuck.
Did he have inspiration?
I think we
I
do.
don't have inspiration.
I have one. I'm giving it to Nimoy.
Yeah, give it to Nimoy.
For real?
Next attack. Yes.
Alright. Here we go.
Are you kidding me?
I saved you from a crit miss.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
here's the bonus action.
Oh, nice.
Are you fucking kidding me? Ah!
Oh my
It's
god.
time.
I feel like it's thematic. Like Nimoy is probably feeling shaken.
Yeah, he's
His
on
brother's,
top of
like,
his brother. He's got tears running down his face because he thinks he's gonna die. Thinks his brother's gonna die. He's shooting, and he's just like, "I'm gonna die right now."
All right,
And
just swing and miss. Come on.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, here's the thing.
20. Come on, 20. Dead.
No!
I have died.
damn.
Nimoy's have to build a new party.
Demoy's probably gonna die too here.
Alright. Malafi.
Success.
Dragon Soldier 1. He is going to go after Thrag. 1 miss. 1 hit.
Yeah, but this is over.
Yeah, it's over. It's ogre.
Alright.
Jesus
He
Christ.
brings down Thrag.
You have to fix one of Thrag's things too.
3's still alive. Alright, he sees Nimoy still up. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
What does everyone want to build for our next party?
I know, right? Like that might be the
Oh
case.
no.
Might be making some new characters in the city.
It's okay. Death happens.
It does.
1 hit.
I'll absorb elements.
All right. So I'll take one of those back. Oh, it was still a 1.
I'm absorbing elements regardless to get the 1d6.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thrag rolls a 13. Nimoy, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna swing at him with a melee strike. Short sword. I was not targeting him, but I think a 14's a miss, yes?
Yeah, 14's a miss.
Okay. I will run 40 feet away. I see that my brother is no longer alive. I will commit to running.
Okay.
See
All
if
right.
they can bring me down with range.
Yep. 40.
I'll take cover, too.
Okay.
I'm alive. Not alive, but dead alive.
He is going to try and hit you with a javelin. Their ideal range is far outside of what he's throwing at, so it's a disadvantage. You have cover, so that is also going to be at a -2.
Okay.
Cool.
Just figured you'd apply it on your end.
Yep. All right, here we go. 1 javelin. It's a miss. I'm going to reapply that for the second javelin toss. And that's another miss.
Nice.
2 flaming javelins landing near your feet as you flee into the woods. All right. This next guy, 5, 10. 5, 30. Okay, he's following after you. He is within range, so this is just going to be a -2 to his javelin toss. That's 1 hit. For 7.
Wow.
And
I can't run.
next throw at -2.
How many javelins do they have?
Well, most of them. No one has thrown more than 2.
This sucks.
TPK.
All
I
right.
haven't had one of these in a long time.
I know. It's interesting.
It's okay.
That's the one thing I hate about these digital dice sheets. It's just
Well,
I
what
don't know.
could have happened exactly the same in non-digital.
And I am down.
Yep. Nimoy goes down. All right.
What do I feel like playing now?
We might be captured. Don't make a new character yet until Kyle says we're dead.
This is a good time for anyone who wants to take a bathroom break. But if nobody wants to take a bathroom break, we will continue.
If you
I
need
just
5 minutes, I'll give you 5.
I'm just saying because normally I forget to do bathroom breaks. So I want to give everybody that opportunity, should they want to do that now. Otherwise, we'll just keep going.
I'm good.
All right. There's music for this. So I'm bringing that up.
I think Nimoy's retiring regardless. His brother just died. If he gets out of this, or if he's just dead.
Okay. So, our camera will watch as our party valiantly fighting against the Red Dragon forces encamped here falls one after another to their passionate fervor. Although losing their officer in the middle of the fight, they continue to fight with a enthusiasm that is unlike what they have struggled against thus far. A military organization that has well-trained soldiers. And we will watch slow motion gladiator style as they fall one after another with sweeping, heartbreaking music playing. And that is where the camera will darken as Nimoy takes that fateful javelin to the back and falls down into the forest floor. But this is not the end for most of our characters here. The Red Dragon Army has heard of their achievements, and they know that these are, in fact, important people. These soldiers may not recognize them immediately, but they do have orders to capture notable individuals alive whenever possible. Seeing as how they destroyed most of their forces, their right to might is enough to earn them, at least for now, the mercy of life. However, this gift may not be as much a mercy as we would hope, because the Fire Eye has turned its gaze upon them, and they will be tested by it shortly. It won't be immediately clear what that test is, but for those that wake up in the middle of a Red Dragon camp, they will be able to reunite with a friend once thought lost. As Nimoy, Alafi, and Thrag return to consciousness in some ruined tower in the middle of the night, bandaged and left barely alive, they will cast their eyes one more time upon Becklin, a fellow prisoner in this cell. She will smile wearily. Well, it looks like the Reach even brought you here. And I think that's where I would like to end the session for tonight, on a bit of a cliffhanger, as our party decides what they want to do with their characters and whether or not they want to work with Becklin to try and scratch out freedom once again. But for now, it has been a real treat playing with all of you, my friends, and whatever we decide to do for the next session, I look forward to playing with you. And for those who are listening, I look forward to entreating you with whatever decision we decide to make. But until then, have a good night.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye.